In a recent video, I talked about some of the health aspects of one of the essential amino acids called L-tryptophan. Amino acids, there's 22 known amino acids, of which 9 are essential in human nutrition. What that means is that you have to derive these essential amino acids from food. The other amino acids, other than the 9 essential amino acids, they can be produced from other amino acids and from other substances. They can be produced naturally in the body, so they're called non-essential amino acids, even though they do have several important functions of the body, which I'll probably be discussing in future videos and also in my Applied Metabolics publication. But today I want to talk about one of these 9 essential amino acids, methionine. Methionine is probably, I would have to say, from a scientific point of view, the most controversial of all amino acids. It's an essential amino acid, meaning that it has to be obtained in the diet. In other words, if you don't have methionine, you get a lot of health problems, including possibly what they call fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver, which is found now in epidemic proportions throughout the United States and the world. Non-alcoholic fatty liver is a precursor for liver cirrhosis, which is scar tissue formation in the liver, which can lead to either liver failure or liver cancer. If you get to that late stage of liver problems, your only hope of survival is to have a liver transplant. I don't want to talk about liver transplants today. Let's stick to the methionine. Methionine, as I said, is found in most protein foods. Methionine is of special interest to bodybuilders because essential amino acids are what's needed for muscle growth. There are 22, let's say, dietary amino acids, but only 9 of them are essential. It's the 9 essential amino acids that are involved in muscle protein synthesis, which is involved in muscle growth or muscle hypertrophy. So you do need to have methionine. However, methionine is problematic for several reasons. But first, let me say that as with other essential amino acids, the best sources of methionine are meat, eggs, fish, and animal proteins. Interestingly, vegan diets, because they lack the animal protein foods, which have much higher methionine content, the vegan diets, which are composed almost entirely, I'm talking strictly vegan, and composed entirely of plant foods, tend to have much lower levels of methionine. Now, you might say, well, isn't that bad because methionine is an essential amino acid? Well, a lot of vegan spokespeople have suggested that the low methionine content or lower methionine content of vegan diets is actually a beneficial effect, which will be evident by the reasons I discuss in this video. Now, the methionine is, there's only 2 amino acids that are sulfur-containing amino acids. One of them is methionine, the other one is cysteine. Methionine is important for a number of reasons, not only for its role in muscle protein synthesis, but it also because of the fact that it's converted into other compounds in the body that are very important. Methionine plays a role, it's what they call a methyl donor. Without going into complex biochemistry, methylation plays an important part in DNA functions, or cell replication and cell health. Methionine is by contributing methyl factors, a source of methyl factors. It's involved in promoting DNA methylation, which has the effect of silencing genes. Again, I'm not going to go into genetics and all that stuff, but it's an important health function that helps prevent disease and slows the aging process. As a matter of fact, this is a very interesting fact about methionine. In animals such as lab rats and mice and fruit flies, when they give them a methionine deficient diet, these animals live 45% longer than animals that are not placed on methionine deficient diets, which that's amazing. That's a much longer increase in health span than you ever get from calorie restriction, which is the only established way to extend lifespan in animals. No one knows for sure whether it works in humans, but it definitely works in animals. And yet, when you deprive animals, such as like I say, mice and rats, when you deprive them of methionine, the animals actually live 45% longer. Now, what is it about methionine restriction that would extend lifespan in these animals? Well, it's thought to work by increasing oxidative stress and promoting cellular repair mechanisms, such as autophagy, which is basically the body getting rid of old, worn-out cells and this and that. These are some of the same effects that occur with calorie restriction. Some scientists believe that undergoing methionine to a certain extent, you can't cut it out completely. If you did that in humans, again, you'd have problems like fatty liver and other problems. But if you reduce methionine, some of these scientists believe that the effect on life extension would be the same as going on a calorie-restricted diet, which involves a daily calorie restriction of 35% of your daily calorie intake or more, which is very difficult to do. That involves eating very little food. For example, for a man, that would involve eating no more than maybe 1,100, 1,200 calories a day. And for a woman, it would be like something like about 1,000 calories a day. Very few people can do that for extended times. There was a study a couple of years ago where they tried to put people on calorie-restricted diets that were restricted by 25%, not 35%, but 25%. These were human subjects, and most of them couldn't last more than a week or two. They had to reduce the calories to no more than 12%. These people could not tolerate a 25% restricted calorie diet, but some of these scientists think that if you slightly restrict methionine, you'll get the same effect. Like I say, the animals lived 45% longer, which is tremendous effect. Among the effects of methionine in the body it's also involved in the production of the other sulfur-containing amino acid, which is cysteine. Cysteine is used to build proteins in the body. It's involved in the production of various proteins in the body, including the most potent antioxidant in the body, glutathione. Cysteine is a precursor for the synthesis of a non-essential amino acid called taurine, which itself, in recent studies, has been shown to extend animal and human life by as much as 12 to 20%. So cysteine is a precursor for that. Also, from a bodybuilding point of view, methionine is a direct, because of its methyl donor effect, it's a precursor for creatine synthesis in the body. In other words, methionine is needed to produce creatine. Methionine is converted in the body into a substance called S-adenosylmethionine, which is involved in a number of important reactions, including in the pathway of creatine synthesis. It also, when taken in supplement form, it's called SAMI, S-A-M-I. You could buy it in supplement form. In supplement form, if you take about 1,000 milligrams a day of SAMI, which again is a form of methionine, or let's say a derivative of methionine, it seems to really help decrease joint pain. If taken in lower amounts, such as 400 milligrams a day, SAMI is a pretty effective natural antidepressant. So glutathione, of course, is the master antioxidant in the body. Cysteine is very important for the production of glutathione. In fact, if you wanted to increase your body's production of glutathione, one of the easiest ways to do it is to take a supplement called N-acetylcysteine, NAC, which is converted into glutathione because glutathione consists of 3 amino acids, and cysteine is what they call the limiting amino acid, meaning it's the most important amino acid for the production of glutathione. And you should also know that glutathione is one of the main detoxicants in the liver. It's found in the liver where it performs potent antioxidant activity, and glutathione is also involved in the detoxification of oral anabolic steroids. Now, if you take certain substances, certain drugs they can rapidly deplete the glutathione levels in the liver, which can cause actual liver failure. One of the ways that this is treated medically is by giving large doses of acetyl N-acetyl cysteine, or NAC. If you go to the hospital and you're having if for some reason, let's say you eat a certain type of mushroom, I can't remember. I think it might be. I'm not sure what the name of the death head mushroom or something like that. I can't remember. It's quite a few years since I looked at this. But if you accidentally eat this mushroom, it will immediately deplete the liver of glutathione, and you could die. You could go into complete liver failure. So if you get to the hospital in time, they'll give you an IV drip of massive amounts of NAC, which immediately restores the glutathione levels in the liver. So that's very important. As I said, S-adenosyl methionine is important for the production of creatine. The methionine plays an important role in DNA methylation through the production of SAMe, and also the methionine is also important for the production of hydrogen sulfide. That's a source of sulfur. Methionine acts as a source of sulfur for the production of hydrogen sulfide. What hydrogen sulfide does is it dilates blood vessels and helps to lower blood pressure. It keeps your blood vessels healthy. Unfortunately, hydrogen sulfide is a very smelly substance. The noxious odor of farts or intestinal gas comes mainly from hydrogen sulfide. You also can get hydrogen sulfide from eating garlic or taking garlic supplements. If you take another thing that can cause a depletion of glutathione in the liver is if you take excess amounts of Tylenol, also known as I can't even pronounce this, acetaminophen. Acetaminophen, that's the chemical name of Tylenol. If you take too much of it, you can deplete the glutathione content of the liver and cause liver failure. Methionine, besides NAC, can also protect your liver if you take in too much Tylenol. So it definitely protects the liver. Again, methionine is found in meat, fish, dairy products, sesame seeds, Brazil nuts. The average daily requirement for methionine is said to be 10.4 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. Now, what's the problems with methionine? Okay, the problem with methionine is that, let me think here. The problem with methionine has to do with a compound called homocysteine. Homocysteine is a metabolic byproduct of methionine metabolism, and unfortunately, it's a very adverse compound. It attacks the lining of the blood vessels. It can stimulate atherosclerosis, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and in the brain, homocysteine is involved in brain degeneration. And this is one of probably the worst thing about methionine is the fact that it can be converted into homocysteine. Now, the good news is that homocysteine, if you take in certain B-complex vitamins, vitamin B6, B12, and folic acid, those three will convert homocysteine into a safe byproduct. It turns it into another form of methionine, which doesn't cause any problems and is excreted out of the body. So you can protect yourself. Now, if you eat a lot of protein and you're taking in a lot of methionine, especially animal protein, you're taking in a good amount of methionine. And if you if your diet does not contain sufficient amounts of these three B-complex vitamins, you could be producing a tremendous amounts of homocysteine, which will actually cause horrible health effects. As I said, cardiovascular disease, possibly Alzheimer's disease is involved in. And also, bodybuilders should know that taking large amounts of anabolic steroid drugs also stimulate the production of homocysteine. So they also should pay close attention to their intake of B complex vitamins to neutralize homocysteine. I think personally that the reason why animals have been shown to live up to 45% longer on methionine deficient diets is because of the homocysteine factor, which is very toxic to animals also, and the increased oxidation that occurs as a result of methionine. The oxidative factor can be, like I say, glutathione and other built-in antioxidant enzymes like catalase and superoxide dismutase, which also involve vitamins and minerals to activate, will help protect you against some of the oxidative effects of methionine. Now, about 5% of chicken, let me see, what can I say? The 5% of the amino acids in chicken and beef and 4% of the protein in dairy foods consists of these sulfur-containing amino acids, methionine and cysteine. So as I said, if you're eating a lot of protein foods, particularly animal protein, you're getting a good amount of methionine. The highest content in methionine, which was 6.8 grams a day, was reported with high protein diets, while lower intakes were present for lacto-ovo vegetarians who averaged 3 grams a day and vegans who averaged 2.3 grams a day. In fact, the lower intake of methionine could be one of the reasons for some of the health benefits that are imparted by vegan diets. So now, as I said, the real problem with methionine, the main problem is the homocysteine effect. The older people tend to have a lower methionine intake, and some people suggest that they ingest a little bit higher intake of methionine, up to 2 to 3 grams a day. I personally don't think that's a good idea because of the fact that although it hasn't been proven in humans, the fact that a methionine restriction in animals, actually it's methionine deletion, they're given no methionine, they live 45% longer. So it's just common sense that an older person should not increase their intake of methionine just for safety reasons. Just eat the normal amount of methionine in protein foods and you'll be fine. So what else is there to know? Oh, there's one more good news. I'll leave this with you. This is very important to know about methionine. As I said, it's almost unavoidable if you eat protein foods, animal protein. Bodybuilders who eat very large amounts of protein are getting large amounts of methionine, much more than the recommended amounts. So, and of course, if you take anabolic steroids on top of it, boy, you're getting basically a methionine atom bomb. Now, you want to get methionine, some methionine. It's important for S-adenosyl methionine, SAMe. It's involved in the production of a lot of important body chemicals, not just creatine, but also spermidine, which is a substance also linked to life extension, and various other important chemicals that are related to, that require methyl donors that are provided by methionine. Now, the thing about it is, what are you going to do? I mean, you have two choices. If you eat a lot of protein and you don't get these B complex vitamins, you're going to have a huge amount of homocysteine produced, and you're going to get in a lot of trouble from a health point of view, possibly cardiovascular diseases. Some people think that some of the heart attacks and cardiovascular problems that affect bodybuilders and athletes actually come from eating a large amount of protein because of the methionine content and the subsequent production of homocysteine. So the first thing you want to do is ensure that you get enough vitamin B12, B6, and folic acid. You don't need massive amounts. Maybe, let's say, I would say about 500 micrograms of B12 is enough. Maybe, 10 milligrams of B6 and 400 micrograms of folic acid, which all of these are very easy to get. In fact, they're in most vitamin mineral supplements are already covered. Now, as an extra insurance policy, and I do this myself, because you can't really avoid eating protein foods if you want to build or maintain muscle, or in my case, prevent the loss of muscle, which is called sarcopenia with age. You have to eat a little bit more protein than usual. I try and get close to a gram per pound. I usually don't eat that much, but I try to get close to it. Now, because of this, of course, I'm taking in a good amount of methionine, so I ensure that I get enough methionine. I'm sorry, enough B complex vitamins. I get my B complex vitamins from taking a fairly high potency vitamin mineral, and I also take a separate B complex pill that contains 100 milligrams of all the B complex vitamins. So I have plenty of B complex vitamins. But as an insurance policy, I take supplemental form of another amino acid, which I've discussed in previous videos, called glycine. Glycine is also involved in the production of creatine. It's great for sleep. As I said in previous videos, if you take 3 grams of glycine before going to sleep, it'll help you fall asleep and stay asleep. It works very well if you take it with melatonin, 3 milligrams time release. But anyway, glycine has a unique property in that it neutralizes all, get this is really incredible. Glycine neutralizes all the bad health effects that are associated with methionine. In other words, when they've given animals large amounts of methionine or diets that contain large amounts of methionine, and they've given them supplemental glycine, there's been no toxicity or decrease in lifespan produced by the methionine. So I personally use my glycine mainly as a sleep aid. I take it once a day. I take 6 grams. You only need to take 3 grams. I take a little extra because of some recent studies that show that if you combine NAC with glycine, it's called, what do they call it? Glynac is, I think they call it. It actually shows tremendous effects on protecting mitochondria, especially when you're older. So I take a little bit, I take NAC, I take about 5 grams a day of NAC, and I also take 6 grams of the glycine. I take it in powder form. I don't want to swallow a bunch of glycine tablets. I already take too many tablets. So and glycine powder is very cheap. It's not expensive. So I take 6 grams of glycine powder before going to sleep. And it not only helps me sleep, but it will also neutralize any negative health effects imparted by methionine. So that's about it. As I said, I think this is an important topic for anybody involved in bodybuilding or sports who consumes a high protein diet, because when you're consuming a high protein diet, as I said, you inevitably are going to consume a lot of methionine. So, but don't worry about it. If you're getting enough B complex vitamins, I would take a supplement, whether it's a vitamin mineral or a straight B complex tablet. You can get B vitamins from foods, but I don't think the foods really contain enough of these B complex vitamins to offset the production of homocysteine from taking in large amounts of methionine, which is what you're doing when you consume a high protein diet, especially a diet like what I suggest, which is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Unfortunately, you're taking in a really good amount of methionine. But again, if you take it in take a B complex vitamin or a vitamin mineral that has B complex vitamins in fairly decent amounts, which is about at least 50 milligrams each, 400 micrograms for the folic acid, don't worry about it. That'll neutralize homocysteine. And as an extra insurance benefit, take in a little extra supplemental glycine. Use it as a sleep supplement, which is what I do, and you're getting a double benefit. It's helping you fall asleep, and at the same time, it's neutralizing any negative effects of methionine that might happen. So that's about it for methionine. It's essential. You can't cut it out. If you cut it out, the effects will be worse than having too much methionine, because you're going to get fatty liver. Your body's not going to make any creatine. Your body's going to not make any carnitine. You're not going to have adenylyl methionine, SAMe, which is important for all kinds of things in the body. So you got to have methionine, but just deal with it. Like I said, if you want more information about nutrition, anti-aging research, ergogenic aids, hormone therapy, effective fat loss techniques, supplement science, including which supplements work and which ones don't, I tell you like it is. I'm not associated Unlike, you're not going to believe this, but about 98% of the people that post YouTube videos, if they talk about any supplement, you can bet that they're on the payroll of these supplement companies that they're talking about, and they're paid big bucks. There's one green company that pays out millions. I mean, this company makes like $1 billion. They make a lot of money from this shitty green supplement, and I talked about that in a past video. You could check it on my channel. I think green supplements, green supplement powders are shit. They're useless. Don't waste your money on it. If you want the benefits of greens, eat greens. Eat whole fruits and vegetables. Then you're going to get true benefits. Green supplements lack the fiber, and they have minuscule amounts of nutrients. They're garbage. They're grossly overpriced. But, you know, a lot of people buy into the crapola that's said about these supplements. So they pay some of these so-called influencers big bucks to push supplements like green supplements, which I would never do. I think they're garbage. So anyway, you know, so you'll notice I never talk about commercial supplements either in my videos or in my Applied Metabolics. I just give you the straight facts and the truth. And I think I'm being totally truthful when I tell you that I'm one of the last people on the internet that will give you the 100% facts about supplements and nutrition. All these other people, now there's nothing wrong with making money, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to criticize these people because they're accepting money from supplement companies. What I'm saying is that they don't have any real integrity, because I personally, if I was approached to, let's say, talk about a supplement or have a supplement company sponsor my videos, I would have to really have proof or evidence that the supplement is useful for most people and that the supplement really works, or I wouldn't take the money. I'm not going to sacrifice my integrity, and that's what these other people do. They don't give a crap. As long as they're being paid enough, they'll tell you anything. And because a lot of these people have advanced degrees, they have huge followings, you know, people, it's propaganda. It's the same thing that causes certain politicians to become elected. It's just people believe that what they're saying based on nothing. Just having an advanced degree doesn't mean you're telling the truth. Believe me, but I've dealt with that a lot. A lot of these people are just full of crap. I don't care how many degrees they have. So I also cover women. I got off the track there. I cover women's health and fitness also in Applied Metabolics. In fact, Applied Metabolics actually covers more topics than any other digital publication on the news on the internet. I average about 30 to 40 pages. Again, no advertisements, just pure fact that includes my over 60 years of experience and knowledge, which as far as I know, that can't be matched by anybody who has a digital newsletter. Some of these other digital newsletters have as many as 30 people on their staff. 30 people, 3-0. My publication has one, me. And I guarantee you'll get more benefit from reading my Applied Metabolics than you will get from reading a year of those other hugely staffed publications, because I've seen them and most of their information is not very practical at all. It's useless. So, and it's also like 3 or 4 times more expensive than Applied Metabolics. So subscribe today. It's www.appliedmetabolics.com. When you subscribe, send me an email. I'll send you an invitation. That's New York. An invitation to join my private Applied Metabolics Facebook page, where each day I post new information on nutrition, exercise science, and general health and medicine. You have to be a subscriber for that. I also have an email portal on my Applied Metabolics Facebook page, where current subscribers only can send me short questions about anything they read in Applied Metabolics or anything that comes to mind about nutrition and exercise. And as an appreciation for their subscription, I will answer their questions, which I don't think any other digital publication offers that. I don't think they will personally answer submitted questions by subscribers. But I'll do that for subscribers because I appreciate your support of my work. Obviously, this only applies to current subscribers. I don't answer unsolicited questions. So that's about it. If you want to have the best friend you'll ever have. Oh, before I forget, If you find my videos, this video channel, if you find it of useful information, please subscribe. It costs nothing to subscribe. I post a new video every Tuesday. As I said, please tell others about it so I can grow this channel. There's no bells and whistles. I don't have fancy graphics, but I do have solid, useful, practical information, which you can bet is the truth, 100% true. So subscribe to my YouTube channel also. If you want to have the best friend you'll ever have, go to your local shelter, adopt a dog. I have in the works where I think I might be adopting 2 dogs, unless it falls through, 2 little dogs that I've been discussing with a person who has a rescue. So hopefully, maybe by my next video, I'll introduce my 2 new friends. So take care. Thanks for listening.